All right, traders. Hello, good morning. Happy weekend, Sunday morning. I'm making this video earlier than I thought. What I want to touch upon is just a few things um, as potential setups that I'm looking at maybe taking or maybe not. So I have been aggressive in the past in regards to how many trades I take during the week, and I find that it's usually counterproductive. So and more stress, and it usually ends up in making less money as well. So I've just got the pound yen up. I must have been looking at this yesterday. So this is quite a nice candle right here. So this is what I would call like a kangaroo tail, is what I learned from Walter Peters. And it's interesting that it's so flat. Now the pound yen, you know, um, it's not really in an upward or downward trend currently, like just how I'm looking at the 55 moving average. So it's going to have to move a little bit higher above here, and then I might look to take a buy trade. But a disclaimer to that is the Brexit situation right now. There's so much uncertainty. There's a lot of headlines that come out from various individuals saying stuff from the EU or from the UK Parliament. So I'm just right now using a little bit of caution. As you can see, I've played this a few times. I went long. This was a short. That was a loss. That should be sort of like down there. Actually, no, I went long again. Sorry. And then might have been on the daily. This is making more sense. Okay, so this was a break even. That was okay. And that was another break even. So I sold here, but I didn't actually get out there. Like I was at work and I was like, no, I want to see how it goes later into the session. And it, aggressively whipped me out. So that's all right. So what else was I looking at? I might get gold up. I don't trade gold a lot, but I do at times. Um, the interesting right here is how far it is away from the moving average, and there's a little strength here though, like how it ended for the week. If we bring the weekly candle up, zoom in on this situation. Yeah, look, I mean, see what happens on Monday, Tuesday, and sort of go from there. But this is still, it's a little challenging on this where the stop loss is going to be. It'll have to be a bit of a modification of what I would normally do. It'd probably be down here at like low 1300s or something like that. It's a potential, idea. But again, just want to wait and see how the whole Monday session goes, and then we sort of approach things after that. USD CAD. All right. So USD CAD, the US dollar has been somewhat of a mixed bag. So, all right, I just paused the video. Now I'm bringing up the US dollar index. So this is quite interesting. I know it's here somewhere on MetaTrader, but on the MEX it's hard to find. I just didn't want to mess around. I just Google searched it. So, and whenever you're in doubt, viewers, you just Google search stuff. Don't be like afraid to research and ask questions, and especially in regards to risk management per trade. So if you don't know like what 2% means or 1% or even less than 1%, that's fine. And if you do have a lot of money, like you might have quite a lot of disposable income, or you've got savings, it's 100 grand or even more. Do not deploy all that capital. Do not do that. Like that is, trust me, you could lose 20 grand in a night quite easily. Like you got to be very careful with that. So, all right, US dollar index and where it is currently. So it's it's just holding steady, but it's just a little vulnerable still with everything that's going on with like a macroeconomic standpoint. It's interesting, but it's still holding above 96. So uh, that leads me to sort of pay a little bit of attention to the US pairs as longs, but it's sort of, yeah, the USD CAD. That's good. Nice aggressive pullback. Take some stops out above and below. Maybe for a trend continuation, we'll see what's doing on the 4-hourly. So it's still above the 55 on the 4-hourly. So I don't like have a concrete, this is the trade plan. I'm in the Aussie dollar short. Obviously, it's a small position. But the Kiwi, I think I looked at the Kiwi as well. So this is something that my trading buddy kind of looks at. It's sort of a box style trade, and then you look for continuation or a breakout. So even though I am bargaining on US dollar strength as well with the Aussie dollar, and now this is well with the Kiwi, it's a little unsettling for me to say like I'd get into this. But if it does offer something, I'm going to have to, because if the Aussie's running in sympathy, that can be quite handy. But I probably would, to be honest. Like I'd kick myself if the setup was there, I let it go, and then it was a nice trade. And I always risk money that I'm willing to lose as well. That's quite important. So when I have a trade on, I really am not that frantic about it. I'm quite comfortable. So if you find yourself feeling like you're checking all the time, trust me, like that's due to the risk being too high. Like a 5% or something, I've heard, or even more. You've just got to like pause and think about things a little bit, because it can get quite ugly when you've got a few trades on the go. They all might be quite high in percentage, and it's like, oh, that's 30% of the account. You're like, wow. You're like, oh. And reality hits, and you're like, man, that was really dumb. So please just don't get into that sort of trap. USD Swiss also is interesting. On the daily, everything is poised up. Like there's no immediate setup that I can see here. And I want to bring up the USD yen as well. I just know I didn't. Okay. So that's just floating around. I mean, if I was to say more long or short, it's definitely more long, but it's still something like this would be good for a bit of continuation, and then through 110, and then off we go. Would be nice, but yeah, I don't really have many expectations, to be honest. Things have been a little bit slower recently, so pound yen, I think that's about it. Euro pound, have a little look at. Yeah, so euro pound is interesting. It does look like it's turning short again. So sort of tried with the rally, it's come back down. So I'll look at the euro pound as well as a potential trade idea. I'm going to sort of conclude it here, guys. So my main watch is a little bit of gold and the Kiwi as well. And that's it for now. But I'll update things again this time tomorrow as well on how things are sort of starting up. Maybe a bit later, probably actually in the London session. So like 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening is when I'll have my next update, because that'll give me a good idea of really what I'm going to be focusing on. All right, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.